get done with this.
Yeah. I got my newsletter. Not yesterday. It was Saturday.
Okay, came out Saturday. That's cool. Hold tight. Roundup. What's up? My Roundup family. Got a great topic today. What's going on, Roundup homies? Greetings, class. Got my boy Chris Birch hanging out with me in here today. How you doing, brother Chris?
Smoking. Not in the essence of smoking, but it's 97 or 98 degrees outside right now in DC.
Good Lord have mercy.
Yeah. Heat index is like 108, I think.
Man.
Yeah, smoking.
That's crazy, man. I feel bad the AC going out today, bro.
Man. Yeah, I was at my brother's back on the 4th of July. And the neighbor 2 doors down has not had AC since early June because they can't find the part that they need.
Could be.
I'm like, whew.
Could be, bro.
At that point, man, I'm getting a new unit. Like, I'll figure out a way. There's no way, man.
That's a good point. I don't know how they're doing that either. Roundup, come on in. Hold on. I got to fix this stupid thing. Oh, there it is. Okay. Roundup family today. Oh man, we got just so much, always something to talk about, right? It's hot here too. Virginia Beach, Hampton Roads. I think it's at 95. Heat index is 103. Roundup. I hope you're staying cool out there. I hope you're staying cool. God bless you if your air conditioning ain't working, and all of my elders and people that are struggling with this heat. We'll say a prayer for you. Hit that like button. Greetings, class. This is Chris Haskins with the realestateroundup.com. My mission and ministry is to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. Today, I've got so many emails over the last week. I did a video about a week ago about my experiences with the SBA and the EIDL loan, the economic injury and disaster loan. But I want to go a little further with that deeper because the reason that I would even apply for this thing is because I would consider Chris as in my mastermind, and he kind of went over this. So today, both of us has this. We both applied for the loan, got it, and I want to just share with you some of both of our experiences and answer some questions for you based on what we went through.
Yeah.
Is that cool, Chris?
Yeah, man, I'd love to.
Yeah, man. So tell me, I know because your story, I like the fact that, not like that, but I mean, your story is interesting because it wasn't a straight line from start to finish. Give me a little background on how you got started with that, Chris.
So let's rewind to early April. So 3 months ago.
Yeah.
You started hearing all these government programs, the PPP, and then the stimulus check, and people are getting $1,200. And so I said, well, it can't hurt. I know what my adjusted gross income was. I could pull a statement up and went on the IRS website, answered my criteria. It says, boom, you'll hear from us in a couple of days. I answered, the bank account where I wanted the stimulus check deposited to. And I got $468.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't think you told me about that.
Yeah. So that was the stimulus check, right? And I'll take the money, sure. Because, it's a deferred thing anyways. It's just a stimulus check. And I was like, $500, whatever. But so my main business, my print business is in Maryland. And I got a notification through the state of Maryland that they were issuing $50,000 grants to small businesses.
Wow. So
I jumped on, I applied for it. 2 days later, I get an email saying, unfortunately, we ran out of money. We're no longer accepting applications. If we are able to refund this again, then you would stay in the same position that you applied, and hopefully you would receive it. Well, Here we are now, mid to late July, and they still haven't refunded it. So that wasn't an option.
That was
And
a state thing. Are you saying that was a state thing, Chris?
that was state of Maryland issued a small business grant.
Gotcha.
They set aside, I don't know where they allocated it from, but they set aside, I think it was $50 million
Yeah.
for helping the small business.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately, I mean, everyone was literally stuck at home at this point. Everything was closed.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody had the time to sit there and do the application. And statewide, 50 million is really not that much money to distribute amongst all the small business community, especially understanding, as I know you do, Chris, what the government defines as a small business.
Yeah.
100 employees or less. I mean, shoot, half of the businesses in the state are probably considered a small business, but they might have 100 employees and they still qualify.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah. But in business, you kind of learn that. It's like, the old days of going to the bank and asking for a loan, and they deny and deny and deny. And, it didn't surprise me. So I was talking to a friend who was about the SBA loan. And I said, oh, but what are the qualifications? So I was kind of downplaying it because I'd been denied 5 or 6 times at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So this was mid-June that I said, well, it can't hurt. It was actually early June. So I put in the first application. It was denied. The Congress, whatever Congress approved for fundings that, they had run out. And a week and a half later, they did another one. I applied and was denied again. The funding ran out. Then the third time is now mid-June. I was denied because that funds through the SBA, those funds at that time were set aside just for agricultural. So technically I had my app in on time and everything worked out, but the funds were not allocated for my structure of business.
Gotcha.
And then now we're the third week of June at this point, and a new round of funding is released, and I go and fill out the application, which is for your roundup. So I understand. I can say it, and Chris, you'll probably agree. This is like really simple to do. It's just filling out a bunch of boxes.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
I think that's not even the hard part. I think is where you're going over now mentally. Like, why the hell would I?
Mentally, why am I wasting my time?
There you go.
And I got this $400 stimulus check. I don't know what in the world I can do with $400.
Mm-hmm.
And my business is hurting, even till today. We're now mid to late July, and we're still operating at like 20% capacity of what we were doing a year ago. It's just people are moving about, people are getting around. They're not needing that many printed items. So my normal business is, I don't want to say it's suffering. I think 20%, we're probably losing 15% a month. So I think our operating costs are around 40 to 45, but
wow.
Yeah. So fourth round, I go and fill out the application, and I get an email saying you'll hear from us if we have any questions.
This is on the SBA site again?
The SBA site, yep. Right on the SBA.gov website. You click on COVID relief?
COVID relief
button.
fund, yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And fill out the form. Probably took 10 minutes. And 2 days later, I get an email saying, boom, you've been approved. And I had to go in and just verify a few things that day, simply verifying the name of the business, the bank, where it needs to be, where the funds need to be sent.
That's the site right there. It looks just like that.
That's it.
Just click right on it. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, so that was on a Monday.
So now we're into June, perhaps?
Yeah, we're June 19th is actually the day I was approved. And 2 days later, the funds showed up in the bank. They were just there.
Now, tell me about the application. Hold up. Before we get to that roundup, I want to reintroduce you. This is Chris Birch, real estate investor and entrepreneur in Maryland. Roundup today, I'm doing this broadcast because I want to make sure that we drive this home about these loans, grants, and financial assistance for us business owners.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be a privy of any conversation where we don't know what's going on, right? So I put one out last week. We're doing another one because Chris is the reason that I applied. I heard all the challenges he went through, and I'm like, by the time you were going through it. They had already approved mine. I just wasn't even going to take it,
Mm-hmm.
Chris, to be honest. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I want everybody to know what's out there. Get your questions in. We can both
Yeah.
answer to the best of our knowledge. So you applied, Chris. So we're the middle to end of June.
Yeah.
You get approved. Tell me about the approval process to funding.
So got an email from the SBA saying, your application has been approved. Click here to verify the information. I basically hit agree. This is the bank I wanted to go to. Agree. This is the routing number. Agree. This is the account number, and hit approve. Now, I will tell you that my loan was approved up to $24,500.
Okay.
But they actually had a scale on there that I could basically swipe to the left and decrease the amount that I wanted to borrow. So I don't have to. I was approved up to the 24,500, but I could have decreased it down to, I think, as small as like 5,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was very clear on the page that it said, this loan, if you agree to the terms today, this loan starts today. It is a 30-year loan at a fixed rate of 3.75, which is the interest rate they're charging.
Mm-hmm.
And your first payment is due 12 months to the day of the approval today. So in a sense, I got approved.
Go ahead.
So I got approved on, let's say, the 21st of June of 2020. My first payment is not due until June 21st of 2021.
That's powerful.
So
powerful.
Not to confuse anybody, it does, from my understanding, it does. The 30-year loan started June 21st when I agreed to the terms. So it's already bearing interest on that loan.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't owe a payment until next June. And when I was playing with that scale on, how much did I want to borrow, it showed me a calculator that said this will be your 30-year monthly payment.
So you already know what your payment is right now?
What your payment is, interest inclusive. Yep.
You care to share that, or you're good?
It's $120 a month.
Round up. I'm just here to tell you, when Chris was, here's the thing, you once again round up. This is almost like I brought Chris on here because a lot of us don't have masterminds. Maybe can't afford them, don't have the people to network with, don't know the people, don't have the connections. Chris and I are in a mastermind, so when you hear different ideas and different philosophies and different techniques going around, you're like, man, let me try that. So I want this roundup to be a part of your mastermind so you can hear what we're doing. Not saying that we have all the answers, but Chris, when I saw him going through this, it kind of gave me a little hope and a little more desire and wherewithal to kind of keep moving for myself.
Yeah. I mean, I agreed with your statement when I said to you, like, dude, I actually got approved. And you said, I don't want to waste my time with that stuff. Well, that's how I felt too. Like I'm getting denied and denied and denied. And then I'm like, I'm sitting at home or I'm at the shop printing, a couple orders. I'm like, I got time. Let me just fill out the application. It doesn't cost me anything,
Wow.
And that fourth time to get the approval was wonderful because I'm now looking at it not from my business perspective, my normal print business perspective.
Mm-hmm.
What can I do with that money between now and next June that I could, in a sense, invest or flip or do something with those funds between now and when the first payments due? Whatever
it is to make money.
Right. I mean, the SBA, so some people get this confused. The SBA clearly states that you have to use these funds to better your business.
Mm-hmm.
That is exactly what it's for, whether it's to pay rent or pay staff or to pay the bills or my business is also in real estate. So I'm going to put some funds over there because I think that's a more secure rate of return.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need. So the difference is, and same with you, Chris, I didn't need the $24,000, but when I saw $120 a month note,
yeah,
it's not going to hurt you. And guess what? If you're able to, generate 5 or 10 grand profit, pay the loan down.
Pay it back.
Yeah, just pay it back.
Just pay it back.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I'm like, you know what, man? I think a lot of us, as we age, Chris, let me ask you, are you debt averse? Or you're like, man, I got capital. I can use my own. Why would I even waste the time? Red tape,
Uh-huh.
turning in documents and all that crap. Are you kind of on that page?
Yeah, I can't, like, I'm so tired, or for years now have been so tired of asking somebody to
Yeah.
loan, trying to sell or pitch my structured business that's been in business
Already
since
making money.
2005, been
Yeah.
profitable. Like, I don't feel like I need to sell you on why you should invest. Like, for what? I've guys calling me now from YouTube, like, hey, I want to learn real estate. Can you show me how to do it? I'm like, well, you got to start asking the questions.
Yeah.
So
Roundup, I want you to please get your questions in here. I'm gonna answer them, Chris. So for me, I'm probably gonna raise mine up. When I first initially, I only applied once, Chris.
Mhm.
That first time, it was like the grant. I got $1,000, and I left it in there. I was forecasting we had already lost about 15,000. So at that time, I'm like, I could use another 15,000 to kind of help offset with the Airbnb.
Yeah.
But since then, we've lost just whatever regarding business slow and tenants paying late and
Mhm.
what have you. I could probably raise mine up, but I'm thinking about the people out there, even the clients that I have, like in my inner circle, they're like, well, Chris, I'm not really losing any money. And I'm thinking to myself, well, not in the short term, or not even that we can maybe recognize it as maybe like tenants moving
Yep.
or tenants lost jobs, Chris. There's some things out there that aren't like immediately inherent that we're going to lose, that are going to be losses over time. Would you say?
Yeah. I mean, I even heard for you and your renters in Virginia that the governor announced, I think it was last week, that he's cutting back on all of the unemployment stuff,
Unemployment. Yeah.
because he said people now, and I can't preach to anyone else, but if you don't feel comfortable going back to work based on the work environment or the interaction, I don't blame them for not wanting to go back. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Like, if I was working at some meat packing plant, standing, with two people next to me on this conveyor line for 8 or 9 hours a day, I wouldn't want to be doing that.
Yeah.
You know?
Even at an Amazon or any type of factory thing or any type of thing where you're in close proximity to people.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, cutting off unemployment, and it's because the governor feels that a lot of people are still trying to sit at home and collect unemployment in fear of having to go back to work. So they're trying to use that, So I can see that as an adverse effect on the rental market.
Yeah. Oh, you better believe it.
Yep.
You better believe it. So Roundup, we want to share with you today. I don't have a long one, but I wanted to let you know that, listen, if you have an opportunity to get some type of capital, I don't, there, and I'm not saying either way is right or wrong, better or worse. So some people are like, man, I'm not going to even take it. I don't necessarily need it. I'll leave it in there for somebody else. That's one person, Chris, and you kind of help it open my eyes. And even another mentor of mine is like, listen, a lot of our counterparts don't want to get into debt to build an empire. And I have to remind myself, like, you know what? That is so true.
Yeah.
That is so true. You help me get over that. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I remember. So starting out, I didn't have any money, but I had a concept. I had already developed relationships, but I learned to run my business off a debit card because I wasn't credit worthy. The banks were like, oh, well, and I didn't understand at the time. I actually wasn't asking for enough money.
Mm-hmm.
And some people will say, well, I only need 20 grand. Well, yeah, but the bank doesn't want to loan you 20 grand. They can't make any money. Apply for 100 grand, get the line, but only use the 20, right?
There you go.
And that's what that just comes from management, money management, debt to income management. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. It's challenging. Well, a lot of us are like told, even me, my mind over the last, since 2015, I'm like, get out of debt, get out of debt, get out of debt. As I'm hammering it in my mind.
Yeah.
Then you come along like, Chris, I got this 25. I'm like, yeah. But the terms, Chris, I'm thinking to myself, like, if I were to use my capital or go to even with a private lender or a hard money lender, Chris, for that matter, on a deal, why not have this little bit of financing to add to another real estate transaction that will help me with saving some of those costs?
Yeah. I mean, the beast for me, similar to what you were just saying about paying down debt, is if I were to keep this loan on the full term of 30 years, I would be paying back $43,000
Okay.
on the 24. I would. But for me now, in this climate, I don't have a payment due for 11 more months now. I have access to the funds. It's sitting in a bank account that's attached to a checkbook and a bank card.
Nice.
You can move it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't touched it yet because what I'm doing now is I'm strategizing where is the best place to put it. And maybe not all of it. Maybe put 10 of it somewhere and 5 of it somewhere.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm surprised you don't get into cars, Chris. I was thinking you right up there at the auction.
So I did at first. I was actually flipping them from my IRA account.
This side money.
Right. But then my CPA kicked in and kind of tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, if you do more than 3 of those a year, it's considering a business. You're now flipping. But he gave me a great strategy. And I know it's similar to you. He said, why don't you just get a guy, pay him $100 to go down there and buy it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then I can legitimately do it because I'm not the worker bee within my IRA.
Either way, you're making the money work on cars. That's all.
Yep. Exactly. Well,
go ahead. I cut you off. You want some going?
No, I was just saying that I have done it in the last 2 years. I've done it at least 6 times. And, you know, those funds just go chunking back into your retirement account.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, so even with the EIDL, I don't know, 24 grand, you could buy 2 pretty nice cars or 3 pretty nice cars. It just depends on what market you're looking for.
Why not?
You know, I know money is tight for people. So I've been the under $5,000 car.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can get it at the auction for $1,500, $2,000, maybe put $500 to $800 in it. And you still can profit about $1,500.
My thing is, if you made $1,000 a car, I mean, it's still extra money for the month.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Exactly. And based on money you don't even deserve. You didn't qualify. What is wrong with Grace? You didn't earn, didn't qualify for it, and you don't even deserve it.
Yep.
Roundup, get your butts on. Listen, let me take you back to I'll show you one more time. I don't want to beat you in the head, but that's the site, SBA. I don't get any money on this. Literally, Chris and I, he told me last week, Chris, man, we got to go tell the Roundup people about this one. And I'm like, you know, you're right. You're right. You can use this money to get in. I don't want to hear when people say, well, you could use it for a down payment, Chris, construction on a rehab.
Yep.
All type of stuff. Oh, man, look at this one. Ron Lamb, thank you so much for your love offering, my brother. Thank you. We'll go through some quick Q&A. Anything you want to add, Chris, before I get to some quick Q&A?
It's so simple to do it. I know you're thinking, I don't want to waste my time filling it out. Same as Chris just said. It was kind of like, well, take me and take Chris as your proof that we were both naysayers. We were both like, I'm not wasting my time. I've been denied 3 times. I'm not doing it.
That's worse for you, Chris. That was even because you had to have some serious wherewithal and vigilance to continue to apply.
Right. So when the 3rd time I was denied, it was because of the agricultural set aside. Mm-hmm. That's when I went and read it. It's very short. What qualifications does the business have to have?
Did you read? Okay.
It's not. I just read the bullet points.
I got you.
Yeah, just bullet points. It's just like, they don't care if it's a sole proprietor or an LLC or a corporation. They don't care.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I think you had a little favor being, and I can only presume for myself. My business license goes back to 2006. Mm-hmm. Yours goes back to when? I know you said
2005.
Do you think that has anything to do with it, Chris? I don't know.
They didn't really ask us for a lot of documentation. I don't think it mattered.
That's a true point. It might not even matter.
Yeah, I don't think it mattered.
Have a legitimate business Roundup.
Yeah.
Business license. Roundup, get your questions in. My Roundup homies, Bay Area. Hey, apply for EIDL, was approved. Good for you. Applied 6/5 and got the money 6/15. Wow. Look at that.
Yep.
2 weeks. No, not even. 12. What is that?
10 days.
10 days.
Yeah.
Bay Area. That is nice. That is cool. Tony, I was approved. Hey, Tony, I was approved June 22nd for EIDL, but the funds haven't been deposited yet. How long was it from your approval to your deposit, Chris? Go over it one more time.
Yeah. So I got the approval email on a Friday, and over that weekend is when, and I'm curious to know if this question, have they received the approval, but have they gone on to the SBA to your account and authorize the deposit, authorize how much you're willing to receive?
Acceptance.
Yep, exactly. So if you haven't done that, you got to do that. But if you've already done that, I would probably recommend giving them a call or shooting an email. Or forwarding the approval email, just saying, I'm trying to check the status of this.
That's a good question, because they give you that case number on each one.
Exactly.
An application.
Yep.
Tony, yeah, that's what happened to me, right? They approved me, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm approved. And a month later, I'm like, what am I doing? I had to go back in and actually accept it and sign the docs. This is all DocuSign.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be where she is. That's just,
yeah, possible.
I'd like to know more about that, Tony, if you signed off on that yet. Miss VSN, Tony, surprisingly, quick turnaround for her. Funds were deposited within 72 hours. Nice. Good for you. Okay, so you guys are. Robert Moore, what's up, my friend? I have my LLC, More Infinity, and I have never done a deal. That's okay, brother. So now I'm wondering, where will I get my funding because my credit is crap? Great. And I have little money. Can I apply for an SBA loan? You want to touch that first, Chris?
They didn't ask me for any personal information. They could care less what my credit was.
Did you put your tax ID in, Chris? Do you remember?
I believe I did.
Yeah, I think EIN.
I believe I did the EIN number. I believe I did.
So credit, I'm glad. Not glad, but I'm not sad for you that your credit is bad, because this way you have to learn how to do this business the right way.
Yep.
I see Chris smiling because all of us started out the wrong way.
Yep.
Guaranteeing debt, buying houses the wrong way. Now you get to start out, Robert, because your credit is trash, using private money. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about it, brother. You can do it. Yep. Jeffrey wants to know, is it too late for him to apply, Chris?
No, I think it's till the end of July.
You better get over there and click the button. It's not like you got to turn in tax returns or credit score. Nope. Nothing. There is no paper, Chris. Was there anything for you to turn in and sign and mail back or anything, Chris?
Nothing. I did it on my phone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a beast.
Yep.
That's a beast. Bay Area Real Estate says they do a hard pull on your credit report. I got a hard pull. Have you checked your credit score, Chris?
I keep very well abreast of my credit. I don't remember getting an inquiry on my credit for the SBA.
Yeah,
I normally get alerts when anything is posted, and I personally didn't, and possibly there you are, possibly because when you said EIN number, they can't pull my credit anyways. They're just asking for the corporate information. So if you apply personally, they might pull your credit.
I know I didn't put my social security number in, Chris.
No.
That is a great point. Round up, so you never even know. You don't know what you qualify for. What do you have to lose? Well, let me ask you, Chris, what do they have to lose if they apply for this stuff?
About 10 minutes of their time filling out a form.
Online,
in the comfort of your air conditioning at home, probably on unemployment or getting a salary or something.
Roundup, I just don't want to hear, I need a down payment. I got a hard money guy. He wants me to put 10% down, and you haven't applied for this, right? Yep. At least apply. It's this money here, the government. I don't know where they're going with this, Chris. Well, let me ask you, where do you think they're going with this? Are they buying votes? Are they trying to get Americans into debt? I mean, no doubt they didn't have to do this.
So there's
always some type of a backstory to this stuff.
Yeah, there is a backstory, I think. I don't know for sure, but the SBA typically is one of the biggest pain in the butts to try to get a loan with.
Yeah.
Like they are a pain, the amount of paperwork and back and forth. I tried it 10 years ago and they burnt me out. I just threw my hands up and was like, I'm done. Like there's just too much back and forth.
Mm-hmm. That's what I've heard.
So I think the set aside, the surplus that the SBA has is part of the reason.
Yeah. Over the years, denying everybody.
So congressionally, there's a new budget every year. But I think whatever Congress agreed to last year, we were so early into this year when COVID hit the United States.
Yeah,
they were like, well, in a sense, they're not going to get funded next year unless they, release these funds. It's kind of the use it or lose it, and that's how a lot of government stuff is. If you don't spend it, you don't get the budget next year. So
use it or lose it. That's a good point. Good point. Roundup, I see somebody that Robert Moore is asking for the website. It is SBA.gov, my friend. It looks just like that. Just click here on the learn more. It'll take you right down through it.
Yeah.
COVID, here it is. EIDL loan application rounduppers. I love you. I'm loving you guys. Just click on it and get started. Applicant, choose one, review, check, click, continue. I'm not going to go through this whole thing. I mean, talk about just ease. When I was filling this out, I'm like, you know what, man, this country really is trying to do your boy a favor. I'm like, you know, if I was really like, couldn't feed myself, destitute, this would really, obviously it's coming in handy, but I'm like, it's could really help somebody sustain over this challenged time.
Yeah.
Alexandra, hey, I applied for my plumbing business. Okay, cool. And a real estate business. Wow. You know what? I got two.
I didn't think about that.
Alexandra, you own something.
I have 3 entities.
I got another.
I didn't even think about that. I'm thinking about my parent company, but yeah. I'll try it. I'll try. I'm not afraid. I'll do it.
I got another EIN, Chris. Alexandra, I got to thank you for that one. I was approved for both. Only noticed a hard pull on real estate business credit. Okay, since that's under.
If it's under her name, she probably had to put in a social when she did it for her real estate business.
Yeah, man, Alexandra, you're a beast for that. I gotta say thank you. That's why I love doing this live. You don't know what the good idea. Doesn't matter where it comes from. That's cool. Nice picture too. Jamon, what is the minimum amount we should apply for? 40,000. I'll let Chris start that one.
They actually, once you do the application process, it takes a day or two, and they will send you a link to click on, and then you can adjust whether you want 5,000 or 10,000. It'll give you a cap rate, and it'll show you what your 30-year monthly payment will be, and you get to choose. So they capped mine at 24,500, and I took 100% of it.
Yeah. And we got 15. Jamon, I don't know what losses you're incurring, but I would say 25,000 would be kind of where the sweet spot. After you go over that, they want some security. Is that what you saw, Chris?
Yeah, there was something else. Yeah, there was something similar where they requested 2-year tax returns and stuff. I think it was above 50.
Yeah, it does change. The criteria changes.
Yeah.
So that will be up to you.
Yeah.
What? Shit, turn in your tax returns.
No.
I'm definitely going to try to raise mine up. Miss BSN, I must say we're still waiting on PPP approval, and I withdrew the application because within a week SBA was approved. Yeah, that PPP is a little different.
I'm waiting on my PPP response right now.
You went through a bank, Chris, or what?
I went through.
Is that the
Cabbage? Yeah, Cabbage. Yeah. So they charge 3% of whatever I'm approved for, but it's 100% forgivable. So it's not like a 30-year note. It's literally a grant in a sense. It is funds that I can do what I need to do with, and I don't owe back. I don't have to pay back.
But Chris, you have employee though. I want to make sure my roundup understands the paycheck.
Correct. But even though they're technically employees, they are contracted labor. They're not W-2. They're not traditional salary. But the PPP application has a defined checkbox. Are these full-time workers with benefits? Are these part-time workers, or are these contracted workers? And I checked contracted.
Contracted. Wow. But maybe I need to apply for that too, Chris. All the money I'm paying these contractors with this construction.
As long as you 1099 them and can justify it, I don't see why not.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Tony, yes, she signed everything. Okay. Literally got the email response says, she just got it. Wow. Isn't that something? Got an email response while we're broadcasting. Looks like a banking issue. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you get approved for multiple entities, businesses? Well, it looks like Alexandra here says, yes, you can do more than one company. Looks like I will be doing that.
Yep.
Wow.
That's gonna be my after dinner project.
Yeah. This is so cool. All right, roundup. That's all I have for you. Literally, this has been on my spirit all weekend as I talked to Chris last week. Final thoughts, Chris, or you want to leave my rounduppers for applying for this money?
I mean, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. But trust and believe that I was the naysayer, Chris was the naysayer, and then I was diligent enough because I'm barely generating, 20% normal revenue, and I'm looking for other opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be okay financially in the long term, but it was a strategy for me, and I was like, I can't deny myself the access not to apply. Like I'd been driving me crazy if I had said, I'm not going to do that, and I have 5 people in my circle that said, oh, well, I got 50 grand and I got 40 grand, and the funds are gone. I'd be kicking myself.
And not to mention, Chris, it's not like this is 10 points, 13%.
No, it's 3.75.
That's my point. It's not like you're paying the loan back on the next month. It's not like they're, get the money and you're the feet to the fire like a hard money guy.
Yep.
The terms are so favorable. It's almost like, you know what? Let me give it a try. If you haven't borrowed money up until now, why not just give it a try?
Yeah.
If you screw it up and you can't pay back, my payment is $72 a month. You got a year to start. If you can't pay back 3.75% in 30 years.
Chris, if you can't figure out what to do with it between now and a year from now when its first payment is due, just give it all back to him.
Good point.
You're not.
Great point.
Just give it back to him.
That's a good point. Good point.
But if you can't figure out what to do with $24,000 of, it's not free money, but very low interest bearing money, readjust what you're thinking about, because there's always something you could do.
Always something, right? To invest in. Always. All right, Roundup. Like this content, please share this. I promise you, we're just here giving. I'm not expecting anything in return. Chris isn't either.
No.
This is shared information with you to help you in your business like it's helped us. I mean, we're doing a deal right now together. So, Okay, Roundup. Subscribe, like this stuff, share, and I will see you soon on the Roundup channel. Peace, everybody.
See y'all.